K type thing. I put some big old beams in there. It's going to be cool as hell. You have to go over there and see it. But anyway.
All right, there's Steve Beecham.
So we were trying to sell our house, and this guy offered us crazy rent.
Wow.
I don't know if you're going to be able to.
You're perfect, man.
A lot of noise.
That thing going on?
That's okay. You're fine. So, Steve, you are the owner of Hometown Mortgage.
Correct.
And you also are a public speaker, right?
Correct, yes.
And how do those two things tie together?
Well, because since I've been in the mortgage business for about 25 years, one of the things I learned when I started hiring people was people just really struggle with how do you build relationships with new customers, how do you build relationships as a mortgage guy with real estate agents. And so I had these things that I'd learned from being in the retail business, and I was in the garbage business for a while, and so I started putting those things together and teaching them to the mortgage loan officers that work for me. And that culminated in me writing a book. They encouraged me to write a book. So what it does is it allows me to build relationships with my customers, then build relationships with real estate agents who are my primary referral source, and then help some real estate agents that are new in the business or struggling at time, help them kind of get their game going on a little bit.
And tell me the name of your book.
So I've got two books. The first book is called Bass-Ackwards Business, and I named it that because the way that I go about it is totally bass-ackwards to what you would think it would be from a sales standpoint. So it's a cool little book. It's about how to build referrals better. And then the second book is about buzz. I realized that when I'd go out and speak, if the person stood up and read my whole bio and said all this great stuff about me that I wrote, then the audience responded differently than if they just said, hey, we got a speaker here and his name's Steve, come on up, Steve. So it's the same thing with you and your business, or with you as an agent or any small business person. The more people know about you, the more likely they are to use you. So what's your buzz? And I'm working on a third book. It's called The Tapes You Play in Your Head, and that's all about what's the internal conversation we're having with yourself and how critical that is to your success.
Very cool. Now, I understand you love to hunt.
Yeah, so I'm a big hunter. I've always hunted a lot. I've got my boys interested in hunting. Every year we go out and do a duck hunt out in Arkansas and try to do a little bit of other stuff. Got lucky one time, went to Africa on a big game hunt, and that was kind of fun. And just been to Argentina on a bird hunt. So been around the world a little bit hunting.
Nice. Now, do you like to fish?
I don't do much fishing.
That's good, because if you tried to fish with Hollis, she'd beat you at it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know why. I've just never had the knack for fishing, but I love to ride motorcycles. I got back into riding dirt bikes with some friends of mine, and we put together a deal where we rode our dirt bikes on dirt roads from Mexico to Canada, and then after we did that, we rode them from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So I've crisscrossed the country on my dirt bike.
On dirt roads.
On dirt roads.
That's fantastic. That is so cool.
And then I love racing, car racing. You know, we've got that in common, Bill. And so I love all kinds. I just got back. My dream trip was to go to Monaco for the Grand Prix, and I just got through doing that a couple of weeks ago. So I'm into car racing.
Back in the day, I was working at Porvine Rollador, and we were buying. We were buying springs from Kokomo Springs.
Yeah.
And so every year we got to go up for the big race, man. It was a lot of fun
awesome.
up there.
That's awesome.
And you're a dad.
Yeah, I've got 3 great kids, and my wife and I met. We were cheerleading partners at West Georgia College, and ended up marrying my cheerleading partner, which is a whole nother long story I can tell you about sometime. We got 3 great kids, Connor and Elise and Colin. Connor, my oldest, is in the business with me now doing mortgages. So my wife, Mary, works part-time, kind of does the book. So it's just a small family thing, and all of our business is referral related. I had a guy just today, first time, I don't know when, he found me on the internet, so it's kind of unusual.
So, and where were you originally from? Where were you born?
So I was born here in Atlanta, and lived in Atlanta, and then my dad was a builder and decided he wanted to be a doctor. So when I was a kid, my dad got in at the Medical College of Georgia, so we lived in Augusta for about 7 years. So my elementary school years were in Augusta, and then when he got out of medical school, we moved back to Atlanta, but we moved to the Roswell area. So I've been in Roswell since the 8th grade.
Went to Roswell High School?
Went to Roswell High School, yeah.
Very cool.
And my wife, Mary, her family's from over in the Austell, Marietta area, and she grew up over there, so we're both real local.
It's really interesting to meet people who are native Atlantans, like my wife is.
Like Hollis, yeah.
but I've been here since I was in high school. So
Yeah.
well, listen. Anything else you want to tell us about?
Well, I like to tell people that you know what I like to do in the mortgage business is tell you what I believe is important from me as a person. I mean, there are a lot of options out there when you're doing mortgages, and quite frankly, everybody's pretty close to the same. And so what you get when you're dealing with me is the things that I believe in. I believe in returning your phone call. I believe in making sure you understand the process. Like the millennial kids that we're doing, I try to get them to come in and sit down and explain to them about escrow accounts and insurance and closing costs and what that's all about. And I tell them if they do that, they'll never have to do it again. They'll just know that for the rest of their life. And I believe in answering the phone and returning your calls, and I believe that I work 24/7 like the Waffle House, so I feel like I'm always open. I might be playing, but I'm still open for business. And so I think that's what people get when they deal with us, is that, you know, we're serious about what we do, and we're serious about customer service, and we're serious about making sure that you're happy and understand what's going on.
Well, I can attest to that because I know that every time I've ever called you, you've returned my call, which I really appreciate.
I think that's important because I want people to do that for me, right? And if I don't know, I want you to explain it to me. And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, but hey, I probably know somebody that does. So that's the way I operate.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, we enjoy doing business with y'all, and y'all are awesome. And that's the great thing is y'all care about your customers just like we do. We kind of bring them into the family fold and love on them and hug on them and take good care of them.
All right, man. Thank you.